Isang paalaala, ang susunod na kabanata ay naglalaman ng mga salita at pahayag na maaaring magdulot ng takot, pangamba at pagkabahala sa mga nakikinig, lalo na sa mas nakababatang gulang. Huwag magpatuloy kung kinakailangan.
Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Welcome to episode 318. Kung first time niyo po dito sa Philippine Campfire Stories, hello and welcome po. My name is Earl. I'm a Filipino-American podcaster na nagbabasa ng mga ghost stories mula sa mga listeners or tinatawag nating campers mula sa Pilipinas at sa iba-ibang mga lugar. I usually record in my home studio and I have it produced by our wonderful team from the Pod Network Entertainment in Manila. And with the help from my video podcast producer, his name is Jasper. We upload episodes every week and ang mga kwento ay usually mga stories about ghosts, monsters, and paranormal events in general. We call the submission episodes as San Telmo Society. It's a play around with the Midnight Society of a 90s horror show for kids called Are You Afraid of the Dark? May mga panahon din na I release themed episodes kung saan may mga guests or topics in focus. I do the podcast in Tagalog-English kasi yun naman yung language na nakasanayan ko. At yun din yung ginagamit madalas ng mga nakikinig dito. If you're new, please consider subscribing to our social media channels in Facebook and Instagram kasi we're trying to build that audience, in TikTok as well. At pati na rin po sa ating YouTube channel kung saan mas maraming mga taong lately ay nakaka-discover sa atin. Recently lang po kasi namin nire-revamp yung YouTube namin. So, matagal na po yung podcast pero ngayon lang po namin ina-upload sa YouTube yung mga previews naming mga episodes. Malaking tulong po yung pag-subscribe ninyo sa mga podcasters na gaya ko para magkaroon ng mas maraming reach. Madaming nagtatanong kung paano daw sila makakapag-send ng kanilang mga kwento. Simple lang po, record your story and send it to our email. Kung ayaw mo naman mag-record ng sarili mong boses and you want me to read it for you, pwede din. Just send it to campfirestoriesph@gmail.com. At if you have a friend that likes this type of content, make sure to share this episode sa kanila. If you know any brands who would like to collaborate with us and be featured here in the podcast, please send us an email to, again, that's campfirestoriesph@gmail.com. Huwag nating patagalin ba? Pakinggan natin ang unang kwento ngayong gabi mula kay Dairy na nagbahagi ng mga kwento tungkol sa mga pintuan. Yup, that's right, mga pinto. Let's listen to the story.
Hi CM, Dairy here. How are you? Ako? Eto,
Inaantok na naman sa work kaya magkukwento ako. Nung bata ako, around 6 to 8 years old yata, palagi akong bit-bit ng kuya ko na mas matanda lang sa akin ng 3 taon. Merong tinatawag na White House sa Baltaw, sa loob ng village namin. Abandonadong malaking bahay to na may gate. Tapat ito mismo ng barangay hall namin. One night, sinama ako ni kuya, together with his barkada. Dumaan kami sa White House na naka-pedicab since nagtapang-tapangan lang sila. So, ayun, 6 kami sakay ng pedicab namin. Kasama ang kuya ko na siya mismo ang nagpapadyak. FYI, ang sabi-sabi ng mga taga-compound namin na mga teenager that time, sa garahe ng White House ay may backdoor or screen door. Yung tipong may creaky sound pag inopen mo. Ang kwento nila, tuwing dumadaan daw sila dun, pag nagbanggit ka na pakibukas lang po sa gate sa tapat ng garahe, makikita mong kusang magbubukas yung screen door in full swing. Araw man o gabi, nag-open daw yun. Madami-dami din silang nakatry gawin yun at iisa lang sila ng kwento. So, as mga nagtatapang-tapangan na magkakabarkada, sila kuya, sinubukan nila. Dumaan kami at huminto sa gate ng bahay ng garahe. May screen door nga kaming nakita. At nagsabi nga si kuya in very malumanay na boses. Pakibukas lang po. Lo and behold, kitang-kita namin nag-full swing open yung screen door. Like, what the fuck? As mga bagets na manghang-mangha, isa-isa silang sumubok. Pakibukas lang po. Pakisarado lang po. Pakibukas lang po. Pakisarado po. And as usual, nag-open and close yung screen door. For the last time, itong pinakasutil na barkada ng kuya ko, sabi, "Pre, tignan niyo to." He shouted, "Pakibukas sarado po, pakibukas sarado po, pakibukas sarado po, sarado naman po." Nagbukas sarado ng ilang beses yung screen door ng padabog. CM, grabe yung kilabot namin dito, kaya kumaripas na kami ng takbo. Natatawa pa ako sa kuya ko noon kasi so sobrang takot niya, lumambot ata yung tuhod niya at hindi nakapadyak para mapaandar yung pedicab namin. Niyakap na ako ng mahigpit ng tropa ng kuya ko habang nagsisigawan silang lahat. Yung iba naman tumulak na ng pedicab since hindi nga mapaandar ng kuya ko. Lahat sila nagpanik ng malala. May kwento din yung mga taga-barangay na nakikita daw nila minsan na may taong palakad-lakad sa balkonahe ng White House paggabi tapos biglang mawawala. Minsan may nakikita din silang nakasilip sa bintana. My second story was from when I was 10 years old nung namatay yung lola ko. This happened a day after mamatay siya. Tanghali ito. We're preparing stuff for my lola's wake. Kami ng pinsan ko nakaupo sa sahig sa tapat ng screen door nila. Nag-aayos ng groceries. Yung mama ko naman, tita, mga kapatid at mga pinsan nagkukwentuhan tungkol sa nangyari kahapon. Sabi pa ng mama ko sa tita ko nun, "Siguro kaya humihingi si nanay sa'yo kahapon ng heart vitamins kasi may nararamdaman na siya." "Oo nga te," may tita replied. Maya-maya, nag-full swing open yung screen door ng tita ko. Suta, lahat kami nagtinginan at kinilabutan. "Mama!" Takot at nangingiyak na sabi ng pinsan kong katabi ko habang mabagal na naglalakad papunta sa tita ko. "Huwag kayong matakot," sabi ng mama ko. "Baka sinisilip lang kayo ng lola kung okay kayo." "Nay, pahinga ka na po ah. Okay kami dito. Huwag kang mag-alala," my mama said. And then, mabagal na nagsara yung screen door. Yung nag-iyakan na kami after nun. Yun lang CM. Waiting pa din na mabasa mo yung mga tambak na stories ko dito sa safe space ng campers. Till my next kwento CM. Madami pa akong stories. Hey Derry, maraming salamat sa kwento mo. Every time I get a story from you, natutuwa ako kasi alam kong medyo may pagka-laugh trip kasi you treat every event like this na hindi nakakatakot kundi parang experiential, part of life, ganun. Hindi siya yung talagang matatakot ka, kundi parang mapapaisip ko lang na nangyari ba talaga or mapapaisip ko lang na ganun. Pero like you said, it's a safe space for you to share those kind of stories, and I also encourage other people to share the same kapag meron silang mga nararanasan ng mga ganun kasi you never know, it validates other people's stories as well, especially yung mga hindi sanay mag-share ng ganito kasi natatakot silang ma-judge. Kaya yun, maraming salamat Daily. We have other stories but we're gonna pause for an ad break. That and more coming up next. We're back in San Telmo Society ng Philippine Camper Stories. May isa pang entry si Derry tonight, kaya naman idagdag na natin ang mga kwento ngayong gabi. Nangyari ito sa kanilang office. Ito yung same office na shinare niya sa atin back in episode 312, yung Ghost at Work, kung saan nakakita siya ng isang multo sa kanyang trabaho. This time, mayroon na naman silang nakita sa office nila. Pakinggan natin ang kwento ni Derry.
Hi CM, it's Derry again. Wala nang paligoy-ligoy pa. Rekta kwento na.
Matagal na nang last na may nakita akong hindi tao dito sa office. 2014 pa yung last na may nagpakita na mumu sa akin. Usap-usapan na din naman at madami nang nakakakita sa babaeng nakaitim, bata at lalaki daw sa hagdan. Well, yung babae nakaitim ay proven na yan kasi nakita ko na siya, as I mentioned sa previous story ko, na welcome newbie. One normal day lang naman to sa office. Nag-work. Quick description lang sa CR ng office namin. Yung CR namin may pang isang tao lang, walang cubicles. Pero syempre, 2 doors, pang male and female. Normally, naka-open lang ng bahagya yung door and no lights. Lalo na pag vacant yung CR. Una mong madadaanan yung CR ng male and then katabi nun yung sa female. Nagpaalam ako sa katabi ko, kako baka hanapin ako. Sabihin mo nag-CR lang saglit. So, ayun na nga. Lakad ako papuntang CR. Pagdaan ko sa CR ng boys, as usual. Naka-open siya ng bahagya. Off ang lights and ang meaning nun, walang tao. Kaso, as I walk past it, may nakita akong nakatayo at nakasilip sa bahagyang naka-open na door. Kalahati ng features niya yung kita. Vertically, like yung usual na mag-open ka ng door at sisilip sa loob, ganun. Parang 3 feet lang yung height. Topless siya, naka-shorts lang, at mukhang madungis. May putik-putik, nakapaa. Yung mukha niya mukhang matanda, tapos para siyang napapanot na. Tas yung kulay niya po, hindi normal. Medyo bluish-gray siya. Grabe. Sobrang kilabot ko noon, CM. Pero since ihina ako, dumiretso pa din ako sa CR ng girls. After ko umihi nun, Diyos ko, hindi ko na alam kung paano ako lalabas. Paglabas ko ng CR, as I pass ulit dun sa CR ng boys, ganun pa din, vacant pa din. Naka-open pa din ang bahagya yung door. Off ang lights, pero hindi ko na nakita yung entity o kung ano man yun. Pagbalik ko sa pwesto ko, kinuwento ko agad dun sa katabi ko. Mga ilang araw lang lumipas. Nakitambay sa department namin yung friend kong taga-purchasing department. Namumutla siya kaya tinanong ko kung okay lang ba siya. Tapos, nagkwento siya. May nakita daw siyang bata na naka-fetal position sa ilalim ng table ng department head niya. Bigla daw kasing lumingon sa kanya. Kaya sobrang takot niya. At hindi na siya nakasigaw. Tumayo na lang siya at dali-daling pinuntahan ako sa pwesto ko. Take note, CM. Hapon nangyari to. Maliwanag pa. Nung pinadescribe ko sa kanya yung itsura, Diyos ko, match na match sa nakita ko sa CR. Sabi niya sa akin, akala ko bata kasi maliit lang kaso napapanot na eh. Tsaka mukhang matanda na. Biglang napatingin ako sa katabi ko at tinanong ko siyang, kinuwento mo? Sabi niya, hindi. Wala akong pinagkwentuhan. Sa bagay mahiyaan kasi tahimik lang talaga yung katabi ko kaya sure na wala talaga siyang pinagkwentuhan. Kinilabutan talaga kaming tatlo, CM. Sabi ko pa, kala ko kasi guni-guni ko lang kaya ayaw kong ipakwento din. Piniro ko pa sila. Di naman tayo in-inform na kailangan palang kumplituhin ma-meet yung tatlong mumu dito sa office. Huwag naman sana magpakita yung lalaki daw sa hagdan, no? Yun lamang, CM. Thank you sa pagbasa sa story ko. More blue bill sa ating lahat. Praying that the time na mabasa mo itong entry ko ay nasagot na ang issue ng flood control. Stay safe, mga kababayan. Hi, Dairy. Salamat sa kwento mo. Nakakatakot yung visual ng lalaki na nagpapakita sa office nyo. At ang matindi pa dyan, yung na-validate ka dahil nakita pa ng ibang mga tao without you prompting your friend. Ang tanong dyan, nagpakita na kaya yung third ghost kay Dairy? Abang-abang lang tayo. May isa pang kwento na nirecord ng ating sender na si Jake tungkol sa kanyang mga panaginip and eventually yung mga bagay na nakikita niya na hindi niya akalaing makikita niya pala. This is a recorded story from Jake. Pakinggan natin ang kwento niya.
Hello, it's CM. This is Jake. I'm usually a silent listener, but I just want to share my story with you. So currently, I have around 10 years in the corporate world, and to give you some context, I'm also a psychology graduate. I'm a registered psychometrician and a registered psychologist. Because of my background, paranormal stories are really not something we entertain seriously. So we always believed there were a probable explanation or a logical explanation for everything. But this is the story of how my paranormal encounter started. So I can still remember I was still in grade 2, close to finishing the school year. So this would be around March when we're just training for the commencement exercise. Back then, our school was still located inside the building owned by our director. So to give you a quick context, so the first 2 floors were office spaces being leased out. The 3rd floor was for our classroom, and the 4th floor served as the canteen, the playground, and actual yung bahay ng director namin, or the actual residence of our director and their family. So I think I was around 7 or 8 at the time, and at that age, everything was just a game to me. Wala pa talagang awareness sa paligid. And what I didn't know at that time was our director's father has recently passed away, and the wake was held on the 4th floor of the building. So one day during a recess or after class, I noticed several pins scattered around the playground area. So as a typical batang 90s, na pinaglaruan ko siya. So I remember lightly poking the surface of my skin with those pins. Tapos sabi ko sa mga kalaro ko, di naman masakit eh. Yeah, if you know, you know. And eventually, naiuwi ko yung mga pins without realizing it. Pagdating sa bahay, nakita ko na lang siya sa pocket ko. And then, of course, as a kid, pinaglaruan ko siya. And tinusok ko pa yung iba sa mga halaman ng mami ko. So, and that same night, I had a nightmare. There was an old man chasing me. I can still remember how vivid it felt because habang hinahabol niya ako, paulit-ulit niyang sinasabi na may hawak daw ako na gamit na hindi sa akin. The dream felt uneasy, like it was so real. Hindi siya yung typical random nightmare lang na parang sobrang napagod so binangungot. Not like that. I woke up in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat. And since bunso ako at that time, katabi ko pa parents ko matulog, I remember being genuinely terrified.
I'm not sure if okay lang na i-share ko sa kanila yung story, but usually they're very dismissive sa mga ganong bagay, so I choose not to. The next night, same dream happened to me. Same old man, same chase, same words. So it continued from that Monday up until Thursday. And then one day, I think it was we're having breakfast. We're having breakfast on Friday. So my mom casually mentioned that our director's father had been buried, and that moment she said that naalala ko agad yung mga pins na pinulot ko sa playground. Kasi during wakes, if you can recall, the pins were commonly used to attach the name ribbons or family cards dun sa mismong casket. The likes of in loving memory of blah blah blah, family of blah blah blah, and the likes. So I immediately rush sa garden and immediately throw away those pins. So after that, the nightmares completely stopped. That experience really changed something in me, because after that, I slowly started experiencing and seeing things that I previously thought only existed in movies or horror stories. So a next major experience happened to me the following summer. So this would be the last week of April up until May, because my grandma suffered a stroke that time. She survived for several days, but eventually she passed away. So sa compound kasi namin, we have a communal poso or a water pump in between sa bahay ng lola ko and bahay namin. So sa posong yun, she usually did her morning routine. Tinatapon niya yung laman ng arenola, naliligo, and stuff like that. On the same morning she died, I remember seeing a shadowy figure come out of their house and walk toward the poso. I told my mom, may shadow dun sa may poso, parang nag-iigib ng tubig or something like that. Then my mom replied very quietly and medyo sadden yung voice, baka si lola mo yan. So the creepy part was, at that exact moment, we didn't even know yet that she had already passed away. So it wasn't as creepy as some other stories, but this really became the introduction to my world with the paranormal. I'll still share some stories, but for now, that would be it for me. San mabasa, and more powers.
Hello Jake, maraming salamat sa pagre-record mo ng iyong kwento. I truly appreciate the effort that you recorded your own story. Medyo bittersweet pa nga yung moment na parang nakita mo yung lola mo at the end dun sa may poso. Pero it's comforting to know that loved ones are just there but in different realities siguro. In case you have more stories to share, please send them to our email. Thank you. At narito na nga tayo sa ating segment na tinatawag nating camper shoutouts, kung saan magbabasa tayo ng mga comments from our campers or listeners na nag-send ng kanilang mga comments in our YouTube channel, Aswang sa Bakasyon. Sabi ni The Shadow Activist or Archivist, sabi niya, "This happened to me during the pandemic at least 20 times in minimum of recurring nightmare." Wow. Send mo naman yung kwento mo, The Shadow Archivist. Sabi ni Paula Michael Bermejo, sabi niya, "I love your voice." Thank you so much, Paula Michael. Oh no, sorry, Paula Micaela. Oh, Michaela. Jack Alegre 4227, sabi niya, "Bagong Yanggao o bagong nahawaan ng pagkaaswang from Yanggao o Langgao or vinegar?" Tigtalambo is the season where bamboo shoots start to emerge underground. May belief na takot ang mga aswang, especially yung mga may pakpak, like manananggal. Sa kawayan, lalo na yung mga may sanga, for fear na sasabit yung kanilang pakpak dito and they will be trapped until sunrise. Oh, that's something new. Thank you for sharing that, Jack Alegre. Or I think I've heard that in a podcast before, or parang documentary tungkol sa Tigtalambo. Leon Mascara 24, sabi niya, dito ako hindi maniniwala. Since 2000, nag-work ako and after dinner, I sleep sa office and now I'm working from home and I sleep in my bed after dinner daily. Head must be higher than your body and if you can drop your feet to the ground. Never had this kind of dream. It's not about eating, then sleeping. Thank you for sharing that comment, Leon. Sometimes it really is a case-to-case basis kung kailan ka magkakaroon ng sleep paralysis. So, yun, better siguro just be cautious of the timing of your last meal to your sleeping time. Random, ito, sabi sa ni at Ozuro Row, not sure. Sabi niya, there's a superstition belief in other Asian countries that if you hear a coin drop out of nowhere, that means there's a ghost nearby. And parang I've heard that before. Thank you for sharing that. And then sabi ni Park Hyung-ji sa Haunted Vacation episode, sabi niya, I remember a theory about a knocking from a horror content here in YouTube. I can't remember what channel, but kaya daw tayo nagsasabi ng tao po while knocking para daw ma-prove natin na tao yung kumakatok and not something else. Yeah, yun nga yung parang nababanggit ng mga tao, no? Parang it's instead of asking for permission to come in, para siyang proclamation na tao ka din, na hindi ka something else. Yeah. In our Spotify channel, let's read some comments. Sabi ni Abby, food for thought para sa mga nagre-reklamo tungkol sa Taglish or pronunciation ng iba. Isipin nyo kung bakit nag-exist ang Filipino diaspora, ang kasaysayan ng bansa natin as a past colony, at kung ano ang impluensya ng imperialismo ng Estados Unidos sa atin. Food for thought lang. Oh, thank you for sharing that, Abby. Yeah, some people might be easy to judge on how other people speak. Kaya, yun. Kanya-kanya lang yan. Alvin J. Clemaco Amancio, sabi niya, may narinig akong ungol or boses. Oh, wow, Jay. Sabi niya yan sa episode 142. I-highlight mo naman kung anong part doon para mapakinggan namin. Allison, sana po inaan konti yung background music. Thank you so much. Oh, noted yan para sa ating mga podcast managers. Thank you, Allison. Mad Stitch, sabi niya, akala ko ako lang, hindi pala. Referring to episode 272 sa San Telmo Society Live with Val. Yan. Jessa Mider, sabi niya, Sly City has a lot of old houses sa Negros. Yung early as Spanish era pa. I had similar experiences with a classmate's house. Yung parang tulad ng Jujutsu Kaisen, meron na iwan na cursed spirits or energies. Hindi pa sila nakamove on, kaya they haunt the living siguro. I don't know about that. I will ask my nephew once I get to record offline. EJA, sabi niya, Vegeta pa ba naman yung action figure na binigay? Kung ako din, makakalimutan ko na yung aswang. Ang ganda po ng mga stories. Negros represent. Thank you, EJ. And last but not the least, yan, baka makorek na naman tayo. Sabi ni JJ, the thing about podcasts is that they are free and there are endless to choose from. San Telmo Society is already the demographic of the show. If you do not identify as one because of preference in narration, then maybe, just maybe, listen to a different podcast of the same genre perhaps. Ayan. Tapos, sinundan pa niya, thank you always, Earl, for lending your voice for the self-written stories, for the endless research, and for the podcast itself. Ikaw lang ang nag-iisang CM for me. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much, JJ. And thank you sa lahat ng mga nag-iwan ng comments nila sa YouTube or sa Spotify or sa Facebook or wherever you find this podcast. Kung gusto mong marinig ang name mo and a shout out, just leave a comment via the Spotify app in any of our episodes or our YouTube channel, Philippine Campfire Stories, at ang mapipiling comments will be featured here. The more detailed, the more creative the comment, the better. Just remember to be kind whenever you share your thoughts dahil ang podcast na ito ay mananatiling safe space for everyone. At dito na po nagtatapos ang ating kwento for our campers na feeling mo ay good job ang podcast sa pagsama sa atin sa araw-araw nating mga gawain at naiibsan ang pagkainip mo. And you feel like generous, you can send us love and appreciation by sharing your monetary tips. Daanan nyo lang po yung aming PayPal account. It's earlm.work@gmail.com, usually for people abroad, or our GCash account na makikita mo sa aming episode show notes. You can also go to our Patreon page. Just go to patreon.com/campfirestoriesph. Mag-subscribe na rin po kayo doon. You can get access to our video podcast. At kung gusto mo namang mag-subscribe sa ating YouTube channel, it's Philippine Campfire Stories, the same as our TikTok channel. Libre lang po mag-subscribe. You can also stay at the ads at the end of the show kasi those ads keep our show running here for free. At panghuli, kung may kwento ka na gusto mong ibahagi sa ating campfire, pwede mong isend yan sa campfirestoriesph@gmail.com. Babasahin natin yan sa mga susunod na San Telmo Society episodes. Muli, maraming salamat sa inyong pakikinig. Magkita tayong susunod na kwento. Ako si Earl at ito ang San Telmo Society segment ng Philippine Campfire Stories.